it's been a long off-season. There's been plenty of pre-season training. Watto and myself are back, and we've got a new recruit. Looking forward to introducing the new chief football writer from the Weekly Times, Hannah Driscoll. We've got a great story on the importance throughout country footy, not only here in Victoria, but right around the country in regards to defibrillators and the role that they play with helping save lives. Watto, great to have you back. How have you spent the off-season?
Well, I've had a great off-season. Great to be back, by the way. But I tell you what, I have never been so excited on this program. The guests that we've got coming up shortly. I tell you what, this is without putting too fine a point on it. Had we been able to recruit this bloke, and we went after him very, very hard in the early 80s at Athol Hodge's place one night in Greenvale, had we been able to recruit him, we would have won probably 6 flags, Essendon, through that period of time.
The man, we're going to introduce him very shortly. You're talking about a man that was angry. Was prone to really just losing the plot there at various stages. You had a few of those guys already in your lineup. Roger Merritt, you had Ronnie Andrews. Did you need another one?
How damaging could we have been? I'm not sure how we would have fit him in the forward line, this bloke, but gee, we could have won another couple of flags for sure. The
man that you're referring to played 140 games with the Tigers and the Pies. He kicked over 500 goals, including the 1986 Coleman Medal, and it is a pleasure to have this man on our program tonight. Brian B.T. Taylor, welcome, Bristol.
Hello, gents. How are you? Very kind, Tim, but how insincere was that? I do remember that night, yes. And
party pies all around. I reckon you had your fair share that night too.
If it was shushy, you probably would have got me across the line. Pies didn't do anything for me.
Was it purely money, Brian, that decided against going to the Bombers?
Yes, it was.
Yes.
Yes. It's always money, you know that, Swatter. You had the same experience. Only really good blokes like Tim don't go after the money.
Hey, you didn't get him to Essendon, but what's your recollection of BT as a player? Because he's got a big personality in the media, which we'll talk about a little bit later on, but he had a massive personality on the footy ground.
Yeah, no, he was one of the great full forwards of that time, and one of the celebrated full forwards of that time too. It's like, it's hard to find a full forward in the game that plays like the old style full forwards of this particular era, but you had BT and Jason Dunstall and Tony Lockett and Michael Roach and all these other great players around that time. But there's a sense of really excitement once the ball passed over halfway, when these blokes just look like they're on the lead like this, and look out, here I come.
Yep. How would you describe your relationship with the umpires during your playing day?
Inconsistent. But you know what? In those days, you did have a relationship with all of the umpires that umpired. I mean, Peter Cameron, Glenn James, whoever it was, Kevin Smith, who I found out later was a Collingwood supporter. You could get away with that type of thing.
It's not even a 50-minute penalty.
You get 12 weeks now, Bristol.
Didn't necessarily
for this behaviour.
Like it, but it's rather threatening, wasn't it? But I was just saying how you're going and all that sort of stuff. But no, look, they were great, because the umpires in those days, if you gave it to them like I did there, they were very willing to have a little chat back to you and just let you know how stupid you were for doing such a thing.
That's right. And so often it used to continue on into the aftermatch as well. So often you'd walk in there and there'd be blokes in a real heated discussion about what took place.
And that was it. You could go and front the umpires and say, hey, that free kick you gave, what was going on? And it would turn into a bit of an argument sometimes, but in the end you'd walk away and go, oh, well, that's the way it was.
Certainly was. Now, you're doing a bit of coaching in the Riddleton District Football League, I believe.
Look, I have been involved there for a few years. All of my kids play at Riddles Creek, and they've come through from the under-10s and now playing senior football. And, I'm involved with the under-16s on this particular year, but have been following one of my sons right through. They've all played senior football, have been involved with the senior footballers there as well. But the under-16s, it's absolutely fantastic getting involved with them, and it's a really important age, Tim, because I reckon at this age group here, these are under-14s, these kids here, their skills are nearly set for the rest of their life. So you don't even know it, but you are a really important ingredient to them having the skills that they have for the rest of their life and whatever level of footy they play.
Now, I've spoken to a couple of people at your local club. They tell me that you are a stickler for putting out the witches' hats. And lo and behold, anyone touch those witches' hats or move them 1 centimetre,
Well, I am, because I'm not actually the coach. I'm just an assistant, because I can't get there on weekends, because I'm doing the footy in the city on the weekends. So it is a little bit unusual. But I take the midweek stuff, and the coaches then coach on the weekend. So they get the glory, I get the dirty job, and that's why I'm so, worked up in my witches' hats and my footies. I tell you what, if any of my footies don't come back, there will be a possibility of a murder.
The Toyota Tour is something that you're also involved in. You take some of the big name players around the country and do some pretty good things in country footy.
Look, Toyota's commitment to grassroots footy has been a significant contribution, $6 or $7 million over the time they've been the major sponsor of the AFL. It's the only thing they do in the country, and they do it incredibly well. 10 footballers jump on a bus for 10 days, go around country Victoria to all these smaller towns and jump off the bus, arrive at a primary school. Tim, you could imagine arriving at the Dimboola Primary School and how excited those kids would be to see, you know, Jonathan Brown, Cameron Ling, Matthew Lloyd and some of the current players as well. So it's been a great grassroots initiative from Toyota.
Hey, just before we let you go, I really appreciate you coming in on a Friday night. Both of you two gentlemen, I think on Queen's Birthday Monday, are going down the big slide, the Freeze MND. Great to have your support. It's been unbelievable, the response in support of Neil Danaher. Looking forward to what you two are going to wear down the big slide.
What are you wearing?
Well, I think I've got an Australian Boomers outfit lined up, one that Andrew Gaze has only worn on a couple of occasions. What about yourself?
I'm going to go something tight and full and just see how we go, because it will be. I believe Larry Blampede from Mount Buller Resort is going to make sure that the water is full of snow and ice, and it's going to be very, very cold. So I'm going long and tight.
It's a scary thought. Hey, I really appreciate you coming in, BT. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
And what a man he is. Channel 7, Triple M, doing some great stuff, BT. Our first nomination for our finest country footballer, thanks to First National Real Estate. For all your buying, selling and renting needs, only one place to go. That's First National Real Estate. Go to firstnational.com.au, and our first nomination is power forward Josh Shackey. I think may have been from Assumption College. He's also with the Vic Country Under-18s. And Josh, he kicked 8-4 in the National Champs last weekend, and he's a top 10 prospect. He also plays with Seymour and the Murray Bushrangers. Well done, Josh. Great effort. Keep up the good work. And looking forward to some of the kids announcing themselves through the course of the year. And we've got our new recruit coming up next. The chief football writer from the Weekly Times, Hannah Driscoll, with all the latest footy news around the state. Yeah, welcome back. Great to be with you again in 2015, wherever you are, right across this great state, and that's all thanks to Gamblers Help. Find the right way that works for you, gamblershelp.com.au. Well, Tim, at the end of last year, Ros Lanigan went for more money. She's gone elsewhere, and we set you the challenge, find the #1 replacement.
Yep.
How'd you go?
Well, look, I think I've done okay. It hasn't been easy. This hasn't been an easy task at all. As we know, I mean, Ros was good, but as we both said in that meeting that didn't include her at the time, that she had tailed off a little bit. I think she'd run a race, but we've found somebody, after a very exhaustive search, right across the state. I didn't want to go outside the borders of Australia to find somebody, because we do need to have somebody that knows a little bit about Victorian football, but we've found somebody. Her name is Hannah Driscoll, and we welcome her to our humble little program for the first time. Welcome, Hannah.
Thanks very much, guys. Good to be here.
Now, just tell us something about yourself, some of the most important things about yourself.
Most important thing, grew up in Rochester.
Yes.
So very good base football to begin with, growing up there. And then I've worked in Shepparton the last couple of years, covering some really good football, like GB football, Murray, Pacola and Kyabram District. So good base.
Who do you barrack for?
But hang on a minute, I was getting to that, because I was going to say, the most important thing about...
not be the Pies.
The most important thing about Hannah.
God, no.
Who do you barrack for, Hannah? Because this was a
this might have been why Tim got me the job. Yeah, Bombers girl, through and through.
There you
Sorry, Schwatter.
Well, we may have a post-production meeting after that. Time now for odds and ends. And it's all thanks to Gamblers Help. Many ways to gamble and even more ways to get help. Call Gamblers Help 1800 858 858 or go to gamblershelp.com.au. It's free, it's confidential, and it works. Find the way that's right for you. Hannah, Tim, over to you.
Well, the WorkSafe Country Championships have been going on. What can you tell us about the results so far?
Yep, so that was held 2 weekends ago as of tomorrow. We had a big clash, 1 and 2, Geelong versus Goulburn Valley. Geelong going to hold the #1 ranking for the 3rd time, and they did so successfully. The score 12-30, 102 against GV's 9-13, 67. Quarter time, Geelong had 11 scoring shots to 2. GVFL coach Travis Ryan called it the worst quarter of footy I've seen at interleague level. So the GV guys were running around like chooks with your heads cut off. So they got a bit of a kick in the bum and responded, but Geelong were far too good. Over in Albury, we had the Peninsula versus Ovens and Murray Footy League. Peninsula getting on top 11-4 1480 to 1070. Peninsula was 21 points ahead at three-quarter time, but Ovens and Murray guys fought back. This one was big in the news because, of course, Ovens and Murray being coached by Brendan Favola. Fev actually resigned the position after the game. He said he couldn't get them back to fighting for the number one position, which they would have last year. And then, of course, a couple of days later, it turned out that Fev had been out late the night before. So a bit of controversy coming out of that one. In the fifth and sixth game...
Two go hand in hand.
So then we go to the fifth and sixth games, which was Ballarat v Bendigo, and Ballarat having a huge win. Rick Ladson had taken over the Bendigo guys this year, of course, the former Hawthorn premiership player, and he was absolutely shattered by that result. So we look at next year's games. We've got Geelong v Peninsula. They'll be going for 1 versus 2, same match that was held in 2014. Golden Valley will be playing Ballarat. Ovens and Murray up against Hampton for the third time since 2011. Bendigo will be playing Gippsland, and the Murray League will be playing the South East League.
Hannah, on another issue completely unrelated to that, what can you tell us about the Mallee Football League and the fact that it is, I think, is going to be dissolved? Is that right?
Yeah, well, that's the recommendation that's come out. This was a review that started last year. Everything came to a head with a couple of clubs looking to merge and a couple of others investigating moves into other leagues. So the guys up there, the powers that be, said, we'll put a stop on everything. We'll have a look at how all the leagues are shaping up at the moment. Those recommendations came out a bit over a month ago, and the big one that everyone's talking about is that the recommendation is for the Mallee League to disband next year.
Next year, so there'll be no Mallee Football League after this year?
That's the recommendation.
OK. Hannah, what's been the reaction to this?
Look, there was very little surprise to the recommendation to fold, for the league to fold. There's only 5 teams left, so it was going to be a big ask for it to keep it together. The 2 clubs in the north seem to be fairly happy talking to each other at the moment. The recommendation is for them to go north. That is the Owen United and Walpurgis Underbull to go to Sunraysia. However, the big one to look at is Sea Lake Nandalee and Wimerlang Lascelles. They've been recommended to merge and go to the Central Murray League. However, Sea Lake Nandalee's committee has voted unanimously to go to the North Central League. It wasn't the preferred option from the review committee, so it would be interesting to see how that one plays out. And
just quickly too, there's been a Victorian government announcement about defibrillators, is that right?
Yep. So that came out on Saturday, that there'll be 1,000 defibrillators rolled out to community sporting clubs across Victoria, so not just football, but community sporting clubs. This will be a fantastic one for footy clubs to get involved in. We know how life-saving these ones can be. I believe we've got a story coming up in a little while hearing about how the impact that they can have. So AFL Victoria's gone on board and they said they support this initiative from the government.
Nicely done, Hannah. Welcome aboard. Great to have you part of the team. Defibrillators and the important role that they can play. As Hannah said, there's a great story coming up next on Off the Bench TV. Welcome back to Off the Bench. Thanks to Gamblers Help. Find the way that's right for you at gamblershelp.com.au. Well, as Hannah said before, there is 1,000 defibrillators that will be made available to sporting clubs throughout the state. And one family that knows the true value of the importance of having one of those machines on site is the Martinello family. Let's have a listen to their journey and story.
Chester Football Netball Club ground will always mean something that sort of happened which was very traumatic in our lives. It was it was an emotional thing, what I experienced myself physically.
Dad had a heart attack at Rochester, I think it was midway through the year. Went into a cardiac arrest on the ground. Yeah, it was pretty scary. Everyone was there, the whole family was there. Run straight on the ground. He was actually umpiring the 2s at the time.
It was quite a frightening afternoon. It was much different weather conditions. It was cold and wet and he was sort of convulsing, and then they realised that he was having a heart attack, and it was quite scary for us all.
The defibrillator which saved his life, Shorty wasn't with us, and I can tell you the defibrillator brought him back, and the hard work they did on the day. As you've seen, Shorty's around today, he's assistant coach, and he looks well and good and healthy, and it's fantastic to have him back.
Particularly a person by the name of Athol Goal, who was instrumental in making sure that I was in good hands. He'd coordinate the whole episode.
I believe he's still here now. I think he's here today. And so he just, with his quick to realise exactly what was going on and did the CPR instantly and applied the defib. The surgeons in Melbourne were quite impressed. They just said they expected a lot more damage to his heart, and they said it's very minimal. So he was extremely lucky that he was in good hands.
Dad actually wanted us to play that day, unbelievably. I think me and James were considering it for a little bit, and then there was a couple of guys there pulled us in line and said, mate, you better go to Melbourne and be with the old man.
2014 was a very successful year as far as win-loss ratio. The club went through undefeated in the home and away games. Won our 1 or 2 finals, but we come unstuck in the grand final.
We probably deserved to win the grand final in the end, but unfortunately we didn't. We've kept most of the players we had from last year, and we've improved.
All 3 sides are very good this year. But I think last year was a real sort of shot in the arm for us. We need to be better.
It's the great thing about Benalla. That's why I love playing footy there. The whole community gets right behind you. We get great crowds to the game during the week. Everyone at work in Benalla local towns talking about the club. Even like last year when we made the grand final, the whole town was covered in Saints colours, and everyone got right behind it. I think for a country town it means a lot, and we haven't had much success of late, but hopefully it comes soon, and hopefully it's this year.
Coming back to Rochester, it's probably, it's one of the occasions I look forward to. And I hope to sort of catch up with Athol, give him another hug as well, and yeah, just to let them know, I'm appreciative to be still here to watch the boys play and sort of to carry on as best we can. Athol.
Shorty, how are you, mate?
Good to see you. You too.
You're looking well.
Thanks, mate. Thank you.
How's it going?
Oh, bloody all right up till today.
Yeah. Can I get a picture of you? 12 months apart? Get together.
If I'd have lost him then, who knows where I'd be if I still been. I think I would have been for sure, but who knows how I'd feel after that. That was one of the scariest moments of my life, and you look back at it and you thank God for Athol and everyone was there, and how lucky we were that he's still here today. And it would have been great to win a premiership for him last year. Hopefully we can do it this year for him and then move on.
Well, I reckon you already won the flag last year, having your dad back, so it's a great story, and the importance of the defibrillators. So to all the sporting clubs around the state, get yourself or get your hands on one of those. Okay, strap yourself in. The Spitwater Spray of the Week is back for 2015. Watto for Spitwater tools, not toys. Built for Australians for over 30 years, still going strong. Spitwater, that's exactly what it does.
Well, Swatter, as you know, there's nothing more important than a speech that fires up a team. You got busy during the week. You fired up the Gisborne Footy Club. Have a look at this.
Yeah.
Tomo, Gibbo, both right? All right, ready to go? Big game of footy today. Big game of footy. We got our structures. Transition the football out, numbers back, flood their forward line. Jono, eyes up. You want to start on the bench, you'll be off. Righto, we know what our team rules are. Win your own footy. Head over the ball, go hard. Jono, if you don't go hard this week, mate, you're off. Positive, constructive, instructional communication over 282 league games at the AFL. With that name, we'll win. Are you with me?
Yeah!
I can't hear you!
Yeah!
Well, get out there then!
Sorry, kids.
One of the best. One of the
Mums
best
and
I've ever
dads,
seen.
they all said it was okay. That's why I didn't coach. Absolutely disgraceful. Kids went out and had a good win, so well done to the kids. Hey, Spitwater, thank you. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to stack more before we close the show. Off the bench, thanks to Gamblers Help. Welcome back to the show. Thanks to Gamblers Help. Our favourite part of the show is back. Celebrate at the Country Races Wheel. Now pay attention because there is hospitality vouchers, merchandise, marquee at the Hanging Rock races up for grabs every single week. Plus the big one, $2,500 marquee package for the Kilmore Cup during our Grand Final Eve show. Country races perfect for birthdays, hens, bucks parties, corporate function, or just a great day out with family and friends. To get your entry in and all the information about celebrating at country races, visit countryracing.com.au. Great to have that back. Looking forward to that coming back next week. Now, to get involved, pick the country card competition. It's easy and free to enter. And you just go about your business there. Great to have JG Gardner Homes on board as well. So that's all you need to do to get involved for some weekly prizes and the big one, a $2,500 marquee at the Kilmore Cup in our Grand Final Eve show. Now, Watto, our William Hill odds there's massive games all weekend this weekend, so you're going to work your way through that, please.
Yep, huge round 10 action still to come. Adelaide, the short price favourites there, $1.22 against the Blues, who've had a hapless season. The Gold Coast Suns really struggling. Sydney to expect to win that game. Very even contest. Essendon against the Cats. The Cats slight favourites. Port Adelaide. I reckon that should just about be even money, that one. The Giants at home, they're going to be almost unbeatable. North Melbourne against the West Coast Eagles. Very closely matched, those two teams too. St Kilda, well, they've got the job ahead of them against the Hawks. You'd expect the Hawks to win. And Melbourne and Collingwood on the Monday. That's a big game in the Premiership odds so far. Fremantle, $3.25. They're yet to lose a game this season.
Good.
And Hawthorn, of course, right there, nipping at their heels as well, Schwatter.
Well done, Watto. Good to have you back.
No, great to be back.
And great to have Hannah Driscoll from the Weekly Times a part of our show. Thanks to BT. Good luck to all of the teams, both football and netball, playing this week around the great state of Victoria. And Watto, Hannah and myself will be back next weekend off the bench, signing off. First time back. All thanks to Gamblers Help. Have a great weekend.